Congratulations. You just got assigned your first international flight. 14 hours to Cape Town, or Doha, or New York. Doesn't really matter where. It's either flying across a big ocean, dealing with engine failure, or seeing the sunrise twice. It's definitely not what they showed you in the recruitment videos. Not what your instructor told you about. Well, it's the real thing. This is your life now, on every international flight. And I mean every one. So let's get on board to experience it together. The international lifestyle nobody tells you about. Dating across time zones, or at least trying to. So here's something they don't cover in flight school. Dating when you're never in the same country for more than 24 hours. It's complicated. Really complicated. I mean, some guys date other pilots. That makes sense, right? They get it. They understand the schedule. They understand why you can't make plans more than 3 days in advance. They understand why you're texting from Singapore at 3 a.m. their time. But even that's hard, because you're both flying. You're both never home. You're both exhausted. You pass each other in the hallway. Hey, how was London? Good, how was Tokyo? Fine, see you in 4 days. And that's your relationship. Ships passing in the night. Literally. Some guys try to date people with normal jobs. That's even harder, way harder. They don't get it, they really don't. You tell them you can't make it to their friend's birthday party because you're flying to Dubai that weekend. They look at you like you chose Dubai over their friend. Like you had a choice. Can't you just call in sick? No, I can't just call in sick. That's not how this works. Or they get upset because you're texting from different time zones. Why didn't you text me back for 6 hours? Because I was over the Pacific Ocean with no Wi-Fi, that's why. You could have told me. I did tell you. I said I was flying to Tokyo. What did you think that meant? And then there's the dating in different countries thing, which happens. It definitely happens. You're in London every month. You meet someone. You hang out during your layovers. It's nice. It's fun. But it's not real, you know? It's not a real relationship, it's a layover relationship, and those don't last. They can't. I knew this one guy, really nice guy, good pilot. He had a girlfriend in Singapore. Actual girlfriend. They were serious. But he was based in San Francisco. So he'd fly to Singapore, spend his 24-hour layover with her, fly back. For like a year he did this. Every trip to Singapore was like seeing his girlfriend. Then one day the airline changed the routes. No more Singapore flights from SFO. Now they were going through LAX or Seattle or something. Different crews, different schedules, and that was it. Relationship over. Because geography, your dating life becomes this weird long distance thing even when you're not trying to do long distance. You're just never anywhere long enough. Never anywhere consistently enough. You're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Some guys give up, stay single. I'll date when I retire, they say, and they mean it. Because right now they're married to the job, married to the schedule, married to the airplane. The culture shock that never goes away. Every country is different, like really different, and you think you'll get used to it. You think after the 10th trip to Tokyo or the 20th trip to Dubai, you'll be comfortable. You'll understand how things work. You don't. You never do. Not really. Japan is amazing, but it's also confusing. Everything is so polite, so formal. You bow, they bow, you bow again, they bow again. How many times are we supposed to bow? And the language, forget it. You learn maybe 10 words. Arigato, sumimasen, that's about it. You point at menus. You hope for the best. The subway system in Tokyo? Absolutely perfect. Runs on time to the second. Clean. Efficient. But good luck figuring out which train to take. There are like 12 different lines and they're all color-coded, but the signs are in Japanese and you're standing there with your phone trying to use Google Translate while businessmen rush past you. One time, I'm not kidding, I took the wrong train and ended up in some suburb an hour away from my hotel. I had to take a taxi back. Cost me like $100. But the taxi driver was nice about it. Didn't speak English, but he understood hotel and the address on my phone. Dubai is the opposite. Everything is new. Everything is expensive. Everything is air-conditioned to Arctic temperatures. You walk outside and it's 120 degrees. You walk inside and it's 60. Your body doesn't know what's happening. And the rules in Dubai, oh man, the rules. You can't drink alcohol in public. You can't show affection in public. You can't do a lot of things. We had this one flight attendant, young guy, first time in Dubai. He was walking around the mall holding hands with his girlfriend. Security came over, told them to stop. He didn't know. How would he know? But that's the rule. Europe is easier, more familiar. But every country is still different. France is not Germany. Germany is not England. England is definitely not France. The food is different. The people are different. The rules are different. I love Paris, but Parisians, they're not thrilled about Americans who don't speak French. You try to order coffee and they look at you like you're offending them by existing. But if you at least try to speak French, even badly, they're nicer. Bonjour? Un café, s'il vous plaît? They appreciate the effort. London is easy because everyone speaks English, but the food is, well, it's British food. Fish and chips are good. Everything else is questionable. And it rains all the time. All the time. You pack for London, you pack rain gear every trip. Some cultures you love, some you don't. And that's okay. You don't have to love everywhere. But you're going there anyway, whether you love it or not, because that's your route. That's your schedule. The crew stories nobody believes. Flying with different crews, every trip means you've got stories. So many stories. Some good, some bad. Some absolutely insane. There was this one captain, older guy, been flying forever. We were in Dubai on a layover. We're at the hotel bar. He's telling stories. And he starts talking about this one time in the 90s when they used to have longer layovers, like 48 hours. And him and his crew, they rented jet skis in the Bahamas or something. Except none of them knew how to ride jet skis. They figured it out though, kind of. This one flight attendant crashed into a dock, broke her wrist. They had to take her to the hospital. She was supposed to fly the next day. She couldn't. Company had to send a replacement. She got in trouble. He got in trouble. Everyone got in trouble. But the way he tells it, funniest story ever. We're all crying, laughing at the bar. He's doing impressions of the flight attendant screaming as she crashes into the dock. It's terrible, but it's hilarious. Or this other time, we're in London. Short layover, 24 hours. Some of the crew decides to go out. Like really go out. London pubs, they're drinking, having fun, being loud Americans, whatever. Next morning, we're all at the van to go to the airport. One of the flight attendants is not there. We're waiting. Waiting. She's not answering her phone. The captain is getting pissed. We're gonna be late. Finally, she shows up, running. Looks terrible, obviously hungover. She's wearing sunglasses inside the van. The captain doesn't say anything, but you can tell he's not happy. We get to the airport. She does her job. She's professional, but she looks like death. On the flight back, she's in the crew rest area basically the whole time. The other flight attendants are covering for her. We land. She disappears. Never saw her again on another trip. Don't know if she quit or got fired or what, but yeah, the thing is, you're stuck with these people for days, in close quarters. You either become best friends or you hate each other. There's no in between, and sometimes both happen on the same trip. I had this one first officer, younger guy, super by the book. Everything had to be perfect. Checklists perfect, radio calls perfect, everything, which is fine, that's good, you want that. But he was also kind of annoying about it. We're flying to Tokyo, and I'm hand flying for a bit after takeoff. Just getting a feel for the airplane. It's heavy, remember? I'm making small corrections. He's watching me like a hawk. You're 50 feet below assigned altitude. Yeah, I know, I'm correcting. Airspeed is 5 knots fast. Yeah, I know, I'm on it. You need to. Dude, I got it. I'm a captain. I know what I'm doing. The whole flight was like that. 14 hours of him monitoring everything I did, questioning everything. By the time we landed, I was ready to push him out the door, but I stayed professional, smiled, said thanks for the help, never flew with him again, thank God. But then you get crews that are amazing, where everyone clicks, where the flight attendants are funny and cool, where the other pilots are easy to talk to, where time actually flies because you're having a good time. Those trips are rare, but they're the best. You're all laughing, telling stories, sharing meals. It feels less like work and more like, I don't know, like you're on an adventure with friends. And sometimes things get weird, like really weird. I heard this story, didn't happen to me, but a guy I know. They were in Paris. Some of the crew went to a club. They're dancing, drinking, whatever. This one pilot, he meets a girl, French girl. They're hitting it off. She invites him back to her place. He goes. They hang out. Next morning he wakes up. He's supposed to meet the crew for the van to the airport. He checks his phone. 20 missed calls, 30 texts. The van left without him. He had to take a taxi to the airport. Cost him like 200 euros. He barely made the flight. Showed up like 5 minutes before departure. The captain was furious. He got written up, almost got fired. But the story he tells? Totally worth it. He's laughing about it. Best layover ever, he says. We're all idiots sometimes. That's the truth. We do stupid things. We make bad decisions. We're human. But at least we have good stories. The duty-free disaster. Oh man, duty-free? Let me tell you about duty-free. So there are rules about what you can bring back. Limits, alcohol limits, tobacco limits, other stuff. Most people don't know the rules. Most people don't care. They buy whatever they want. Usually it's fine. But sometimes you get caught. I knew this one captain. Big guy. Liked his whiskey. We're in Scotland, Edinburgh or Glasgow or somewhere. They've got this amazing duty-free shop in the airport. Single malts everywhere. He's like a kid in a candy store. He buys like 6 bottles, expensive stuff, age 25 years or whatever. He's so happy, telling everyone about his purchase. This is gonna be great. My buddies are gonna love this. We fly back to the States. We go through customs. Usually they just wave pilots through. We're crew. We do this all the time. They trust us. Not this time. Can you open your bag, please? He opens it. There are 6 bottles of whiskey. Did you declare this? You're allowed 1 liter. You have 6. They confiscated 5 bottles. Just took them. He kept trying to argue. But I'm crew. I didn't know. These are gifts. Didn't matter. Rules are rules. He was so mad. So mad. Those bottles cost him like $500. Gone. Just gone. He was complaining about it for weeks. They stole my whiskey. Government thieves. We all learned a lesson that day. Follow the rules, or at least know what the rules are before you buy 6 bottles of scotch. But some guys push it. Some guys think they're clever. They split stuff up among crew members. Hey, can you carry one of these bottles for me? Now you're both breaking the rules. Great plan. Or they try to hide stuff. In their uniform bag, in their suitcase under clothes. Like customs officers are stupid. They're not stupid. They've seen every trick. One flight attendant I knew, she was buying designer handbags in Paris. Real ones, expensive. She'd buy 2 or 3 every trip, then sell them back in the States for profit. Made good money doing it, until she got caught. Customs pulled her aside, searched her bags, found 3 Chanel bags, asked if she declared them. She lied, said they were hers, for personal use. They didn't believe her. They found receipts. Recent receipts. all purchased the day before. They confiscated the bags. Fined her. She almost got fired. Was it worth it? She says no. Definitely not worth it. The black market for crew is real though. Some guys make side money bringing stuff back. Electronics from Asia, watches from Switzerland, perfume from Paris. It's technically illegal, or at least it's against company policy, but it happens. I don't do it, not worth the risk, but I know guys who do. They're always looking over their shoulder, always worried about getting caught. Doesn't seem worth it to me. We make good money flying. Why risk it for an extra few $100s? The paperwork nightmare. Let me tell you about the General Declaration. The GD. Every international flight, you have to fill out this form. It lists all the crew members, their passport numbers, their dates of birth, the aircraft registration, the departure point, the arrival point, all this information, and it has to be perfect. If there's a mistake, one mistake, immigration might reject it. Then you're sitting there filling it out again while passengers are waiting to deplane. It's embarrassing. Some countries want it printed, some want it electronic, some want both. Some want it in duplicate, some want it in triplicate. Every country is different, and God forbid you forget to fill it out. I've seen captains realize halfway through the flight, oh crap, I forgot the GD. Now they're scrambling to fill it out at 35,000 feet while trying to fly the airplane. It's chaos. Or the customs declarations. Every country has different forms, different rules. Some are simple, some are like taking a test. Multiple pages, questions about everything. Are you bringing in agricultural products? Are you carrying more than $10,000 in currency? Do you have any items to declare? You better answer honestly, because if they catch you lying, that's bad. That's really bad. They can deny you entry. They can fine you. They can make your life very difficult. I always declare everything, even stuff that seems minor. I have a sandwich from the airplane. Better to declare it and have them say it's fine than to not declare it and have them find it and get mad. The visa situation is its own nightmare. Some countries, you need a visa. Some you don't. Some you need a visa, but you can get it on arrival. Some you need to apply weeks in advance. And it's different for every passport. I'm American, so I can go to Europe without a visa. But some countries in Asia need a visa. Middle East? Depends on the country. Africa? Definitely need a visa for most places. The company is supposed to help with this. They have people who handle visas. But sometimes things fall through the cracks. You show up for a trip and you're like, wait, do I have a visa for this? And they're like, you should. Should? That's not comforting. One time, this was years ago, we were flying to Mumbai. India requires a visa. I applied weeks in advance. Got it. All good. One of the other pilots forgot to apply. Showed up the day of the trip. Do I need a visa for India? Yes. Yes, you do. Can I get one at the airport? Number? No, you can't. They had to pull him off the trip. Find a replacement. We were delayed 2 hours. He got in trouble. Big trouble. It was a mess. Now I have a system. I check the visa requirements for every trip as soon as I get my schedule. If I need anything, I handle it immediately. No procrastination. Too risky. Lost and found across continents. Losing stuff on international trips is the worst. The absolute worst. Because you're not just losing it in your hometown. You're losing it in Tokyo, or London, or Dubai. And you're not going back there for days. Maybe weeks. I lost my phone once in Singapore. Left it in the crew van. Didn't realize until I was in my hotel room. I went back to the lobby. Did anyone turn in a phone? Number. Called the transportation company. Did your driver find a phone in the van? They'd check and call me back. But I'm flying out tomorrow. I'm not staying in Singapore, so I give them my email. My US phone number. Hope for the best. 3 days later, I get an email. They found my phone. Great. Can they ship it? Number. I have to pick it up in person, but I'm in New York now. When am I going back to Singapore? Check the schedule. Next month. 4 weeks from now. So my phone is in Singapore for 4 weeks, just sitting there, waiting for me. Finally, I get back to Singapore. I go to the transportation office. They have my phone. Battery is dead, obviously, but it's there. I'm so relieved. Lesson learned, don't leave your phone in random places. But it happens. Things get lost. Passports are the worst thing to lose. If you lose your passport, you're screwed. You can't fly internationally without a passport. You can't leave the country you're in. You're stuck. A flight attendant I knew lost her passport in Paris. Just lost it. Checked her bag in the hotel room. Not there. Checked with the front desk. Not there. Panic mode. She had to go to the US Embassy, file a report, get an emergency passport. It took 2 days. She missed her flight back, had to stay in Paris alone while the rest of the crew flew home. Company was not happy. She had to pay for the extra hotel nights herself. It was expensive and stressful. Now everyone is paranoid about passports. You check for it constantly. Before you leave the hotel room. Before you get in the van. Before you go through security. Before you board the airplane. Is my passport in my bag? Yes? Good. Check again in 5 minutes. I lost my crew badge once in Frankfurt. That little IID card that says you're crew. You need it to get through security. Without it, you can't get to the airplane. You can't do your job. I realized it was missing when I got to the hotel. I must have dropped it somewhere. The airport maybe? The van? Who knows? I reported it to the company. They said they'd send a replacement, but I'm flying out of Frankfurt tomorrow morning. They can't send it in time. So the next day, I go to the airport early. I go to the crew service desk, explain the situation, show them my passport, my airline IDD, other documents. They give me a temporary badge, crisis averted, but it's stressful. And if it had been a smaller airport, might not have worked, might have been stuck, might have missed the flight. Now I keep my important stuff in the same pocket always. Passport in the left inside pocket, crew badge in the right inside pocket, phone in the right outside pocket. Every time, same place. That way I know where everything is. I can check with a quick tap. Still there? Good. International flying means you're constantly keeping track of stuff. Your bags, your documents, your sanity, and sometimes you still lose things. It's just part of the life. The pre-flight reality. The briefing that starts too early. So you show up to the crew lounge at 4:30 in the morning? Something ridiculous. It's always too early for international flights. Always. I've got my coffee. I need that coffee, desperately need it. And I'm walking in, and there's already other pilots there. Some of them, some you don't. Doesn't really matter because you're about to spend the next 14 hours together in a cockpit that's, I'm not kidding, smaller than most people's bathrooms. You're gonna be really close. Really close. The briefing is different for international. Way different. It's longer, more detailed, and everyone's taking it seriously because, okay, here's the thing. You're not just flying from Dallas to Chicago or whatever. You're crossing an ocean. Multiple countries, different airspaces with completely different rules. You need to know all of it. You need to know it cold. The captain starts going through the flight plan, and he's like, all right, we're going KJFK to RJAA, Kennedy to Tokyo Narita for the normal people. Flight time is 13 hours, 45 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, that's basically forever. We've got 240,000 pounds of fuel, which is insane when you think about it. Alternates are Anchorage and Sapporo. Weather looks good at departure, some convective activity over the North Pacific, but we should be able to deviate around it. You're taking notes. Not writing it down. Mental notes mostly. You've done this before, but every flight is different, Every route has its own weird quirks, its own things that can go wrong. Then comes the oceanic part, and this is the big one. This is what separates international from domestic. We'll be entering oceanic airspace about 45 minutes after departure. HF radios, which sound like absolute garbage, by the way. Position reports every 10 degrees longitude or whenever ATC requests. No radar coverage for about 6 hours. Let that sink in. 6 hours. No radar. Nobody watching you. ETOPS rules apply. We're 180 minutes from a suitable airport for most of the crossing. ETOPS. God, I love that acronym. Extended Range Twin Engine Operational Performance Standards, which basically means, and I'm simplifying here, but this is the reality, you're flying a twin-engine aircraft over areas where if one engine fails, you better hope. You better pray that the other one keeps running. Because your nearest airport? 3 hours away. But that doesn't mean you're going to actually continue flying for 3 hours on one engine. If you can land, you're going to land immediately. You will only continue flying on one engine if you had to. Your airline says they care about passenger safety, which for the most part they do. But you are the captain and you make the call even if you land the plane that cost way too much for the airline to deal with the maintenance cost later. Fun stuff, right? And then we talk about crew rest because, okay, on a flight this long, you don't just have 2 pilots. You have 3, sometimes 4, because the FAA, in their infinite wisdom, decided you can only be at the controls for so many hours. Which is good, obviously, because otherwise we'd be flying 14 hours straight, and that's asking for trouble. The rest of the time, you're in the bunk, trying to sleep, while the airplane you're responsible for flies over the Pacific Ocean, which is a weird feeling, I'm not gonna lie. I'll take first break, the relief pilot says. That's me today. I'm the FO, but I'm also relief pilot, which means I'll get the first break, sleep for a few hours, or try to sleep anyway, then come back and fly the middle portion while one of the other pilots rests. The captain nods. Sounds good. I'll take second break. We'll wake you up about 4 hours in. 4 hours. I'll be at the controls for 4 hours, then sleep for maybe 3 if I'm lucky, then back for the descent and landing. It's this weird schedule. Your body never quite adjusts to it. Never. We go over emergency procedures. Engine failure over the ocean. What do? Rapid decompression at 35,000 feet. What's the plan? Medical emergency when you're 2,000 miles from the nearest hospital. How do you handle it? And these aren't like theoretical questions. These aren't the scenarios they give you in training that you know will never happen. These are real possibilities. These things happen. Maybe not often, but they happen. And you need to know the answers. You need to know them without thinking. The weight and balance game. Before you even get to the airplane, and this is the boring part, but it's important, trust me, there's paperwork. So much paperwork. International flights are complicated, man. Weight and balance is critical. And when I say critical, I mean if you get this wrong, bad things happen. You've got passengers, usually a full airplane for international flights, like completely full. You've got bags, and everyone overpacks for international trips. You've got cargo, and you've got fuel. Lots and lots and lots of fuel. For a flight to Tokyo, you're carrying over 200,000 pounds of fuel. Let me put that in perspective. That's more than the empty weight of the airplane itself. You're basically, and I mean this literally, strapping wings to a flying gas tank. It's nuts. And it all has to be balanced. Too much weight in the front? The airplane won't rotate on takeoff. You'll just sit there on the runway going really fast but not flying. Too much in the back? It'll pitch up unexpectedly. Too much on one side? You'll be flying with constant aileron correction for 14 hours, which sounds minor until you're actually doing it and your arm is getting tired and you're like, why is this airplane doing this? The load planner sends you the final numbers. You check them. You double check them. You verify the center of gravity, is within limits. It is. Barely. But it is. Good enough? You also check the fuel. Did they actually load the right amount? Because sometimes, and this drives me crazy, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you show up and discover they put 180,000 pounds when you need 240,000. And now you're sitting there waiting while the fuel truck pumps for another 30 minutes. Just sitting. Burning time. Burning daylight. Well, not daylight because it's still dark. But you know what I mean. Time is everything in aviation. Delays cost money. Everyone's watching the clock. But safety costs more if you don't have it, so you wait. You just wait. The walk around in the dark. You're at the airplane now. It's still dark outside. Most international flights leave at night. You fly through the night. You chase the sun. You arrive in the morning local time. That's the theory anyway. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. You do your walk around, and it's different for international. You're way more thorough. Because, and think about this, if something breaks over the Pacific Ocean, you can't just land and fix it. You're committed. For hours. You're out there. So you check the tires, looking for any cuts, any bulges, anything weird. You check the engines, looking for leaks, damage, bird nests, you name it. You check the flaps and slats. You check for leaks, for damage, for anything that looks wrong or even just looks a little off. You shine your flashlight into the wheel, wells, and you're looking for hydraulic fluid. Because if there's hydraulic fluid dripping, that's a problem. That's a big problem. You check the static ports and pitot tubes. Super critical for your instruments. You check everything. And you're out there with your flashlight in the dark, walking around this massive airplane, and you're thinking, am I really about to fly this thing across an ocean? Am I really doing this? Everything looks good. The airplane is ready. Are you ready? Doesn't matter. It's time to go. The departure. Pushing back into the unknown. You're in the cockpit now. Pre-flight checks are done. Passengers are boarded, all 300 of them. The door is closed. That sound, that thunk when they close the door, that's when it gets real. That's when you're like, okay, we're doing this. Ground, United 837, request pushback. United 837, ground. Pushback approved. Advise ready to taxi. You feel the airplane start to move. That gentle push backwards. The tug is pushing you, and you can hear the beeping outside. You're leaving the gate, leaving the United States. In 13 hours, you'll be on the other side of the world. Like, actually the other side. It's crazy when you think about it. You start the engines. Engine 1, Engine 2. They spool up with that familiar whine, that sound that never gets old, honestly. You run through the after-start checklist. Everything's normal. Everything's green. All the lights are right. United 837, taxi to runway 31 right via Bravo. Bravo 9, Alpha. You copy the clearance. You start to taxi, and the airplane is heavy. Really heavy. You can feel it in the controls. Sluggish. Like driving a truck that's overloaded with cargo. Because that's basically what you're doing. You're driving an overloaded truck with wings. Taxi is slow. International departures usually use the longest runway. You need every single foot of it when you're this heavy. You taxi past the domestic gates, past the regional jets, those little CRJS that look like toys next to you, past the cargo ramp, all the way to the far end of the airport, like the really far end. Other crews are watching you go by. Some of them are jealous. Oh, you're going to Tokyo, must be nice. Some of them are glad it's not them. 14 hours in that cockpit, no thanks. I'll take my 4-leg day. You're thinking about the flight ahead. 13 hours and 45 minutes. That's basically forever. That's like watching all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, extended editions, and still having time left over. A lot can happen. A lot usually doesn't happen, but it can. The takeoff. You're at the runway now. Number 1 for departure. You run through the before takeoff checklist and everyone's focused now. Flap set, flight controls checked, transponder on, anti-ice is required. United 837, runway 31 right, cleared for takeoff. This is it. Point of no return. Well, not really. You can reject the takeoff up to V1, that's what the speed is for. But psychologically, this is it. This is really it. Cleared for takeoff, United 837. You push the throttles up and the engines roar, like really roar. The airplane accelerates, but slowly at first. You're heavy, remember? So heavy. But building speed, 80 knots, 100 knots. The runway's rushing by. V1 decision speed. If something goes wrong now, you're flying no matter what. No matter what. Rotate. You pull back on the yoke, the nose comes up. Feels like it takes forever. The main wheels leave the ground. You're flying. Actually flying. With 240,000 pounds of fuel and 300 people who are trusting you, who have no choice but to trust you, to get them to Japan safely. Positive rate. Gear up. The gear retracts with that thunk, thunk, thunk. You're climbing now, but slowly. So slowly. Because you're heavy. The airplane is clawing its way into the sky. 1,000 feet per minute. 1,500. That's all you're getting right now. Normally you'd be doing 3,000, but not today. You're following the departure procedure. Turn left heading 280. Climb to 10,000. You're hand flying it. The captain will turn on the autopilot soon, but for now, you're flying. Actually flying. Feeling the airplane. Heavy, sluggish, but flying. United 837, contact departure. You switch frequencies. Departure, United 837, 4,000 climbing 10,000. United 837, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 310. FL 310, 31,000 feet. That's your initial cruise altitude. You'll climb higher as you burn off fuel and get lighter. But for now, 31,000 is where you're going. The climb takes a while, 20 minutes, 30. You're fighting your way up through the flight levels. Finally, you level off. The autopilot is on now. The airplane is stable. You're established in cruise. You made it. You look out the window and the coastline is behind you now. Just darkness ahead. Ocean, nothing but ocean. You're committed now. Really committed. The next few hours, there's no going back. Only forward. Just forward into the dark. Oceanic crossing. Entering the void. United 837, contact New York Center on 131.85. This is the handoff. From radar control to oceanic control. From being watched on radar to being, well, not watched. Because there's no radar over the ocean. None. You're on your own out here. You're really on your own. You switch to HF radio, high frequency, and oh my god, it sounds like garbage. Scratchy, full of static, hard to understand. Like you're trying to talk through a transistor radio from the 1950s. But it works over long distances. It's how you communicate when you're 1,000 miles from land. New York Center, United 837, flight level 310. United 37, New Radio, Roger, report 50 West. See what I mean? You barely understood that, but you got the important part. Report at 50 West. 50 West. That's 50 degrees west longitude. One of your reporting points. You'll check in every 10 degrees as you cross the Atlantic, or every so many degrees depending on which ocean you're crossing. It's different for Pacific versus Atlantic. You're in oceanic airspace now, and the rules are different here. Way different. You can't just do whatever you want. You're assigned a specific track, a specific altitude, a specific speed. And you better stay on it because even though there's no radar, there are other airplanes out here. Lots of them. And if everyone doesn't follow the rules exactly, bad things happen. Really bad things. You make your position report. New York Radio, United 837, 50 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level of 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0342. Flight level 310. Estimating 40 West at time 0425. 30 West next. They read it back. Or try to. You confirm. This is your life for the next several hours. Position reports. Checking your navigation, making sure you're where you're supposed to be. Because out here, being in the wrong place means you could hit another airplane and you'd never see them coming. The autopilot is flying. You're monitoring. Checking fuel every few minutes. Checking weather ahead on the radar. Making sure everything's normal. It usually is, but you check anyway. You always check. You look out the window and there's nothing. Just nothing. Ocean below. You can't even see it in the dark. Stars above. So many stars up here, more than you've ever seen. You're in the middle of nowhere. Like truly the middle of nowhere. The nearest land is hundreds of miles away. The nearest airport, the kind you could actually land at, is even further. This is what international flying really is. Hours of this. Just monitoring, waiting, flying over empty ocean in the middle of the night. And honestly, some guys love it. I mean, think about it. Cruising across Canada or the ocean for 6 hours, yeah, it's boring, but you know what else is boring? Working a 9-to-5 office job. That's way worse. Way worse. I know this one guy, he worked in Santa Monica for a jet charter company, desk job, and he said the highlight of every week was getting Bay City's deli every Friday for lunch. That was it. That's what he had to look forward to. Every week. Just waiting for that sandwich on Fridays. Now he's flying, making $250,000, reading books, skiing 40 days a year. He lands the airplane maybe twice a month. Not a bad trade-off, right? But yeah, the middle of the Pacific at 3 a.m., It does get to you sometimes. Just you, the other pilot, and that constant engine hum. That hum that never stops, never changes. Just hum for hours. The first break. All right, I'm gonna head back, I say. It's been 4 hours. Time for my rest break. Finally. The relief pilot nods. I got it. Sleep well. Yeah, right, I'm thinking. But I say thanks and unbuckle. You stand up and oh man, it feels good to stand after 4 hours of sitting. Your back cracks. Your knees crack. You're stiff. Really stiff. You stretch and the captain glances at you like, yeah, I know. You open the cockpit door and the cabin is dark. Most passengers are asleep. Some are watching movies. You can see the little screens glowing. Some are just staring out the window at nothing, at the darkness. What are they thinking about? You walk through the cabin, trying not to bump into anyone, trying to be quiet. You head to the crew rest area. On some airplanes, it's a bunk above the passenger cabin. You climb this little ladder. There's a small compartment up here. A bed, a tiny one, but a bed. You lay down, and you set an alarm. 3 hours. That's all you get. 3 hours. You try to sleep, and it's not easy. It's never easy. The engines are loud even up here. The airplane is vibrating. That constant vibration that never stops. Turbulence bounces you around. You grab the little strap so you don't roll off the bed. Your body doesn't know what time it is anymore. You took off at midnight, but you've been awake since yesterday morning. Is it today? Tomorrow? Yesterday? Who knows? But you're tired. God, you're tired. Eventually you drift off. You sleep. Sort of. It's not good sleep, it's that airplane sleep where you're never fully out. You're aware of everything. Every noise wakes you up. Every bump. You're aware that you're on an airplane. That you're over the ocean. That you're technically working even though you're sleeping. It's weird. The alarm goes off and you're like, wait, what? 3 hours? That was 3 hours? Feels like 20 minutes. Feels like you just laid down. You get up, groggy, disoriented. You splash water on your face in the tiny bathroom. You look at yourself in the mirror. You look like hell. Your eyes are red. Your hair is a mess. Oh well. Nobody cares what you look like up here. Time to go back to work. The middle hours. You climb back into the cockpit. How's it going? Good, the other FO says. Nothing exciting. We're over Ireland now. Ireland. You're halfway across the Atlantic, or maybe across the Pacific, depending on where you're going. Either way, halfway. 6 or 7 hours down. 6 or 7 to go. You're in the middle of it now. You take your seat, you strap back in, you get situational awareness. That's what they call it. Where are you? What altitude? What's the weather? Any issues? What did I miss? Everything's normal. It's always normal, until it's not. But right now, right this moment, it's normal, and that's good. You take over flying duties, which just means you're the one monitoring now. The captain goes to take his break. Now it's just you and the other AFO. 2 pilots, over the ocean, flying 300 people at 35,000 feet. No pressure. You make your position reports. Shannon Radio, United 837, 10 West at time 0512. Flight level 350. Estimating 15 West at time 0545. You monitor fuel. You're burning right on plan. Actually slightly below plan because the winds are better than forecast. You'll take it. You watch the weather radar and there's some convection ahead. Cells building. You'll need to deviate around it. Shannon Radio, United 837, requesting deviation 20 miles right of course for weather. United 837 Shannon, unable due to traffic, maintain present course. Great. Can't deviate? There's another airplane somewhere near you, and you'd conflict if you deviated. So you'll have to go through it or ask for a different altitude. Shannon, United 837, requesting flight level 370. United 837, climb and maintain flight level 370. You climb above the weather. The ride smooths out. Problem solved. Easy. This is the skill nobody tells you about. International flying isn't about stick and rudder skills. It's not about greasing landings or hand-flying approaches. It's about problem solving. It's about managing situations. It's about making decisions with incomplete information while you're tired and your body clock is completely confused and you haven't eaten a real meal in 8 hours. The fuel temperature game nobody talks about. Okay, so here's something that's actually kind of stressful, but nobody outside of international flying really knows about it. Fuel temperature. Specifically, making sure your fuel doesn't freeze. Yeah, freeze. Your fuel can freeze. At high altitudes, like the altitudes we fly at, 35,000 feet, 40,000 feet, the outside air temperature is insane. -60 degrees Celsius, -70, sometimes colder, and your fuel is sitting in tanks in the wings. Those wings are outside, in that cold air. The fuel temperature drops, slowly but steadily, and if it gets too cold, it starts to gel, it starts to freeze. And if your fuel freezes, your engines don't get fuel. And if your engines don't get fuel, well, you can figure out what happens next. The limit is usually around -51 degrees Celsius. That's the freeze point for jet fuel. Different types have slightly different limits, but -51 is the general number you're watching. You cannot let the fuel temperature drop below that. Cannot. So you're monitoring it. There's a gauge, fuel temperature. You check it every so often, every scan, every few minutes. You're cruising along, everything's fine, and you check the fuel temperature. -45, okay, still good. Plenty of margin. An hour later, -48, getting closer. You're watching it now, really watching it. Another 30 minutes, -50, now you're concerned. You're right at the edge. One more degree and you're in trouble. So what do? You descend. You go to a lower altitude where the air is warmer. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But that's how it works. Lower altitude equals warmer air equals warmer fuel. But here's the thing. You can't just descend whenever you want. You're in oceanic airspace. You're on a specific track, at a specific altitude. There are other airplanes around you, above you, below you. You need permission. Gander radio, United 837, requesting descent to flight level 320 for fuel temperature. You wait. HF radio is slow. The controller is handling multiple airplanes. You wait. United 837, Gander, standby. You're watching that fuel temperature. -50. Still -50. Holding steady. For now. United 837, Gander. Descend and maintain flight level 320. Finally, you start down. The airplane descends. The outside air temperature gets warmer. -55, -50, -48. The fuel temp starts coming back up. -49, -47. Good. You're good. But now you're at a lower altitude. You're burning more fuel because the air is thicker. You're not as efficient, but you're not freezing your fuel. Trade-offs. The domino effect. Here's what's wild about the fuel temperature thing. It happens to everyone at the same time, because you're all flying at roughly the same altitude. You're all in the same cold air. You're all watching the same fuel temperature gauges drop. So you're sitting there monitoring HF radio. It's been quiet for a while, hours of quiet. Just the occasional position report. Everyone's cruise. Everyone's bored. Then suddenly, Gander radio, Air France 447, requesting flight level 300 for fuel temperature. And it's like that wakes everyone up. Oh yeah, fuel temperature, let me check mine. You look at your gauge, -49. Oh crap, yeah, we need to descend too. Gander Center, United 837 also requesting lower altitude for fuel temperature, flight level 320. And then, and this is the funny part, you hear everyone else, one after another. Gander Center, Lufthansa 456, requesting flight level 310 for fuel temperature. Gander Radio, British Airways 112, requesting flight level 340 for performance. It's like a chain reaction, like everyone was sitting there half asleep, and then one person reminded everyone, "Oh yeah, we should probably make sure we're not freezing our fuel, good call." Thanks for the reminder, and Gander's like, "Okay, everyone wants to descend. Let me work on this." They start clearing airplanes to descend, one by one. It takes a while because they have to make sure nobody conflicts. Nobody runs into each other. It's a whole thing. But it happens almost every time you're flying over cold regions. The North Atlantic in winter, the polar routes, Siberia. You're up there for hours and the fuel just keeps getting colder and colder. And eventually someone requests lower and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we should probably do that too." It's kind of funny actually. In a weird way, like everyone's so tired, so zoned out, that it takes one person to wake everyone up. "Hey guys, remember that thing we're supposed to be monitoring? Yeah, we should probably do something about that." And then the HF radio is busy for 10 minutes with everyone requesting lower altitudes. And then it goes quiet again. Back to the boring cruise, back to monitoring, back to waiting. But you're watching that fuel temp now, really watching it, because you don't want to be the guy who lets it freeze. That would be bad, really bad. Career-ending bad, probably. So you check it. Every scan, fuel temperature. Still okay? Good. Still okay? Good. The rest of the flight, you're more aware of it, more conscious of it. Because that one radio call reminded you. Oh yeah, this is something we actually have to manage. Can't just cruise along on autopilot all night. Well, you can, but you have to monitor things. You have to pay attention. That's international flying. Long hours of boredom punctuated by moments of not quite panic, but concern, attention, awareness, problem solving, and sometimes just remembering to check the things you're supposed to be checking. The sun starts to come up and it's not a normal sunrise. You're chasing it, remember? Moving east at 500 miles per hour. So the sun rises fast, like really fast. 1 minute it's dark. 20 minutes later, it's bright daylight. Just like that. You put on your sunglasses and the glare is intense up here. Really intense. You're closer to the sun. There's less atmosphere filtering it. It's bright. You look down and you can see land now. Europe or Asia, depending on which direction you flew. Coastlines, cities. You're almost there. Almost done with the crossing. United 837, contact London Control on 132.6. Radar coverage. You're back in controlled airspace. The oceanic crossing is over. You made it. Again. This part always feels good, you know? Like you accomplished something. Hours of boredom, sure, but you got 300 people across an ocean safely. And honestly, yeah, it's boring cruising for hours, but it's also exactly what you want when you have a family at home. The exciting jobs, the stressful ones, they wear you out eventually. This job is rewarding, often boring, which is perfect. At least that's what I tell myself. The arrival side. Waking up on the wrong clock. You're descending now. The captain is back from his break. He looks as rough as you feel. Everyone's back. All hands on deck. Everyone needs to be alert for the arrival because this is when things can go wrong. Your body is confused, like completely confused. You left New York at midnight. It felt like midnight. You were tired. Now it's 8 a.m. London time, morning. Bright outside. But your body still thinks it's 3 a.m. You've only been awake for a few hours. You had that rest break, but your body thinks you should be asleep. Should be in bed, should be anywhere but here. You're fighting it. Coffee helps. More coffee. You splash cold water on your face in the little cockpit bathroom. Talking helps. Stay engaged, stay alert, stay sharp. The passengers are waking up back there. You can hear them. The flight attendants are doing the breakfast service. The smell of coffee and food fills the cabin and makes its way up to the cockpit. Your stomach doesn't know if it's hungry or not. Is this breakfast time? Dinner time? What meal is this? You're getting close now. The arrival controller is giving you vectors and you're following them exactly. United 837, descend to 4,000 feet. Reduce to 210 knots. You're in the weather now. Clouds, rain, typical European weather or Asian weather, depends where you went, but it's always something. It's never perfect. The runway is in sight. Well, kind of. You can see the approach lights through the rain. Those beautiful lights guiding you home. The captain is flying, you're monitoring, calling out altitudes like you've done 1,000 times. 1,000 feet. 500 feet. Minimums. The airplane touches down, and it's not your smoothest landing. The captain's tired too. We're all tired, but it's safe. That's what matters. Safe. On the ground. Done. You taxi to the gate, and international gates are always far away. Always. You taxi for 10 minutes. Past other airplanes. Past cargo planes. Past everything. Finally, you park. You shut down the engines. One, then the other. The noise stops. The vibration stops. Silence. You're done. 13 hours and 52 minutes. 7 minutes longer than planned. Flight time is always longer than planned. Always. You fill out the logbook. You gather your stuff, your bag, your headset, your water bottle. You're exhausted. Completely and totally exhausted. But you still have to get through customs, get to the hotel, and somehow try to sleep. Even though your body has no idea what time it is or what planet you're on. Welcome to the other side of the world. The immigration dance. You're off the airplane. The passengers are gone. They're rushing to catch connections or racing to baggage claim. You're moving slower, way slower. You're tired. You're carrying your bags. You just want to get to the hotel. But first, immigration. Always immigration. International crews have their own line usually. It's faster. Thank God for that. But you still have to show your passport, answer questions, get stamped. The immigration officer looks at you, then at your passport, then at you again. Purpose of visit? Flight crew. They stamp your passport without another word. Just stamp. They've seen 1,000 pilots today. You're nothing special. You're just another tired pilot. Some countries are easier than others. Some wave you through like, yeah, we know, go ahead. Some ask more questions. How long are you staying? When are you leaving? Where's your hotel? Some, like the Middle East or Asia, are very thorough. They check everything. Passport, visa, yellow fever card, everything. You've learned which countries are which. You know what to expect, but it's still tiring. You just flew for 14 hours. You just want to sleep. Please just let me through. You get through eventually. You find your crew, the captain, the other FO, some of the flight attendants. Everyone looks tired. Everyone's done with this. Everyone's ready to get to the hotel. There's a crew van waiting outside, usually. Sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes the van doesn't show up, and you have to figure out another way to the hotel. That's always fun when you don't speak the language and you're so tired you can barely think straight and you're trying to say hotel to a taxi driver who doesn't understand you. But today the van is there. Thank God. You load your bags. You climb in. You close your eyes immediately. The drive through a foreign city. You're driving through London, or Tokyo, or Dubai, or wherever you ended up. The city is awake, fully awake. People are going to work. It's morning for them, a normal morning. They're drinking coffee, reading newspapers, checking their phones. For you? You don't know what time it is. Your body is completely lost. Time has no meaning anymore. You look out the window and everything looks different. The buildings are different. The cars are different. Driving on the wrong side of the road if you're in the UWK. The signs are in a different language. Even in English-speaking countries like London, it feels foreign, different, not home. The driver doesn't talk much. They do this every day. Pick up crews, drop off crews. They've seen thousands of tired pilots, thousands of people who look exactly like you. They're not impressed. Traffic is bad. It's always bad in major cities. Always. The drive that should take 20 minutes takes 45. You don't care. You're dozing in the back seat. Your head is against the window. You're half asleep. Finally, you arrive at the hotel. It's a decent hotel. International crews usually get decent hotels. The airline contracts with them. 4 stars usually. Sometimes better in nice cities. Sometimes worse in places where options are limited. You check in, and the hotel staff recognizes the uniform immediately. Crew, your rooms are ready. Thank God. You get your key card. Room 847. You take the elevator up. You can barely keep your eyes open. And you know what? Some guys will tell you about the amazing layovers, the Caribbean overnights, the beautiful destinations. And yeah, those exist. I flew with this one captain once. Really nice guy. But he loved telling everyone about his trips, about the drinks by the pool, about the golf in Hong Kong, about the salmon fishing in Alaska. And I'm thinking, dude, your wife probably doesn't want to hear about the drinks by the pool on a Tuesday afternoon while she's home with the kids running around screaming. You learn to quietly enjoy the good layovers. Don't brag about them. The layover reality. Your room looks like every hotel room you've ever stayed in, and I mean every hotel room. Doesn't matter if you're in London or Tokyo or Dubai, they all look the same. Same bed, same desk, same TV, same bathroom, same window with curtains that are already closed. You drop your bags and they hit the floor with a thud. You should unpack. You should hang up your uniform so it doesn't get wrinkled. You should shower. You should do a lot of things. But you're exhausted. You're so exhausted you can barely move. You check the alarm clock on the nightstand. It's 10 a.m. local time, morning. Your body thinks it's 5 a.m. early morning. You've been awake for... You don't even know anymore. You lost track. Time has lost all meaning. You should try to stay awake. Adjust to the local time. Get on the schedule. That's what all the advice says. That's what they teach you in training. Stay awake until at least 8 p.m. local time. Yeah, right, but you're so tired, so unbelievably tired, you can barely stand. You compromise with yourself. You'll take a nap, just a few hours, just enough to take the edge off. Then you'll get up, go outside, try to adjust. You set an alarm for 2 p.m. 4 hours. That's reasonable, right? You don't even bother getting undressed. You just lay down on top of the covers, still in your uniform, pants, and shirt. You'll change later. The bed feels amazing, like the best bed you've ever felt in your entire life. Better than your bed at home. Better than anything. You're asleep in seconds. And here's the thing about these layovers. You fly to all these amazing places, but you don't really see them. Tokyo, London, Paris, Singapore. You've been to all of them dozens of times. But what do you really know? The airport, the hotel, the drive between them. That's it. That's all you know. Some guys make an effort. They plan things, go to museums, try restaurants, really explore, actually see the city. But most of us, we're too tired. We're just trying to survive the layover and get home. That's the reality. The return trip. Waking up for round 2. You wake up the next day and your alarms are going off. Multiple alarms because you don't trust just one. You've slept through alarms before. Everyone has. You slept, kind of. But you still feel like garbage. Like complete garbage. That's just how it is with these layovers. You never feel rested. Never. You shower, and the hot water helps a little. You shave. You look at yourself in the mirror. You still look tired. The shower didn't fix that. Nothing fixes that. You put on your uniform that's been hanging in the closet. Hopefully it's not too wrinkled. You smooth it out with your hands. Good enough. You gather your things, your flight bag, your suitcase, everything goes back in. You do a sweep of the room, checking drawers, checking the bathroom, checking under the bed. Did you forget anything? Phone charger? Toothbrush? You've left things in hotels before. Everyone has. You check everything twice now. You check out. You meet your crew in the lobby. It might be the same crew from the flight over. Might be different. Depends on the scheduling. Today it's different. New captain. New FO. Same flight attendants though. They wave when they see you. The van to the airport. Same drive in reverse. You watch the city go by. You've been here for 24 hours, but you feel like you haven't been here at all. Just passed through. Like always. Like every layover. The airport is busy. Heathrow is always busy. Always chaos. You go through security, and even though you're crew, they still check everything. Still make you take off your belt. Still scan your bag. It's annoying, but you're used to it. You get to the gate, the airplane is there. Same type you flew in. 777 or 787 or whatever. They all look the same after a while. Just another airplane. The brief is similar to the outbound flight. Flight plan, weather, fuel, alternates. Except now, you're going home. And that's different mentally. That changes everything. Home is waiting. Your own bed, your family, normal life, you're motivated differently. Alright, Heathrow to JFK, flight time 7 hours 45 minutes. We've got the jet stream helping us today. Winds are strong, should be a smooth ride home. 7 3/4 hours. Shorter than the flight over because you're flying west with the wind. Flying with the jet stream instead of against it. That's the one good thing about the return flight. It's always shorter. But your body will be even more confused. You'll leave London at 1 p.m., fly for almost 8 hours, and arrive in New York at 4 p.m. You'll lose 5 hours on the clock somehow. Or gain them? You don't even know anymore. Time is weird. Time is broken. Flying into yesterday. The flight home is always different. You're tired in a different way. The first flight over, you were fresh. Well, as fresh as you can be starting at midnight, but fresher than you are now. This flight, you're running on fumes. 1 day of layover isn't enough to recover, not even close. You need like 3 days, but you get one. But you're going home. That's the thing that keeps you going. Home. Your own bed, your own house, your family, familiar things, normal things. The takeoff from Heathrow is routine. Heavy airplane, long runway, slow climb. You've done this 1,000 times. It's muscle memory now. The autopilot takes over. You settle in for the ride home. The first few hours are over the UK, then Ireland, then out over the North Atlantic. Same oceanic crossing as before, but in reverse. Different routes usually. Eastbound and westbound traffic use different tracks to avoid running into each other. You're making position reports again. Shanwick Radio, United 837, 10 West at time 1445, flight level 360, estimating 20 West at time 1512, 30 West, next. The routine is comforting in a way. You know what to do. You've done it before. You can do this in your sleep, which is good because you basically are doing it in your sleep. The sun is behind you, setting in the west, but you're flying away from it so it stays light for hours, for like 4 or 5 hours. One of those weird phenomena when you're moving this fast across time zones. You're outrunning the sunset. Your break comes eventually. You head back to the bunk. You try to sleep for 3 hours. Sort of. It's not great sleep. It's never great sleep. But it's something better than nothing. You wake up feeling worse than before you slept. That's always how it goes. Always. You wake up and you're like, Why did I even bother? Back to the cockpit. You're over the North Atlantic now, middle of the crossing. Nothing but ocean below, nothing but sky above. You're in that weird in-between space where you're not really in Europe anymore, but you're not yet in America. You're just nowhere. The captain is sleeping now. It's just you and the other FO, making position reports, monitoring fuel, watching the weather. Same as always, same as yesterday, same as every flight. You're burning less fuel than planned. The winds are strong today, really strong, pushing you home. You'll land early, maybe 30 minutes early. Everyone will be happy about that, especially the passengers who have tight connections. The push to get home. You're over Canada now. You can see land below. Snow-covered landscape. Forests, lakes, frozen everything. You're almost there, almost home. You can feel it. The sun is setting ahead of you now. You're catching up to it. The sky is that perfect twilight blue. It's beautiful, but you're too tired to really appreciate it. You notice it, but you don't feel it. You know what I mean? United 837, contact New York Center on 128.42. You switch frequencies, and it's American controllers, American accents. It sounds like home. It actually sounds like home. You start your descent. The captain is back from his break. Everyone's awake now. Everyone's focused. You're almost done, almost there. The weather in New York is good. Clear skies, light winds. After the rain in London, this feels like a gift. Like the universe is cutting you a break. New York approach is busy though. It's always busy. Always. You're number 15 for landing. They put you in a holding pattern at 11,000 feet. You're just circling, waiting your turn, burning fuel, waiting. The passengers are getting restless back there. You can feel it. The energy is different. They want to land. They've been in the air for 7.5 hours. They're done. They want off this airplane. You get it. You're done too. You want off this airplane too. Finally, United 837 cleared for the ILS approach runway 22 left. You're cleared. You're going in. Finally. The captain flies the approach and you're monitoring, backing him up, calling things out. 1,000 feet? 500 feet. 100 above minimums. Minimums. Runway in sight. The airplane touches down. Smooth landing. Better than the one in London. The captain's more awake now, or just lucky. Either way, you're down. You're on the ground. You're home. You taxi to the gate, your home base. The same gate you left from 3 days ago. Or was it 4? Full circle. You're back. You park. You shut down the engines one by one. You run the shutdown checklist. You fill out the logbook one more time. You're done. Finally done. The walk back to reality. You're off the airplane, walking through the jet bridge, through the terminal, your airport. It looks different coming home. More familiar, more welcoming, like it's happy to see you. You say goodbye to your crew. Good trip, safe travels. You too. See you around. You probably won't. That's how it goes. Random pairings, random people, temporary family. But it was nice while it lasted. You're walking through the terminal with your bags. Other passengers are rushing around you. Some are just arriving like you. Some are connecting. Some are late for flights and literally running. You're not rushing. You're too tired to rush. You're just walking at a steady pace, pulling your suitcase, heading for the crew parking lot. You see other pilots. Some you know. You nod at each other. They nod back. Everyone understands. Everyone's tired. Nobody wants to chat. Just nods. Just acknowledgement. We made it. Another trip complete. You get to your car. Same spot you left it 3 days ago. Or close enough. You load your bags in the trunk. You get in the driver's seat. You just sit there for a minute. Home, You're almost home. Just the drive now. Just 30 minutes. You can make it. You start the car. You pull out of the parking lot. The drive you've done 1,000 times. You could do it blindfolded. You could do it asleep. Which is good because you're pretty close to asleep right now. The highway is busy. It's rush hour. Everyone's going home from work. Normal people. Normal jobs. They left at 8 a.m. They're coming home at 6 p.m. Same day. You left 3 days ago. You flew to the other side of the world. You flew back. You crossed time zones. You lost days. You gained them back somehow. Time is meaningless. You're almost home now. Your neighborhood, your street, you know every house, every tree. You turn into your driveway. You park. You turn off the engine. You just sit there for a second. You made it. Another trip complete. Another international flight done. You're safe. You're home. You're alive. You grab your bags. You walk to your door. Your real door. Not a hotel door. Not a cockpit door. Your door. You open it. You're home. Your family is there. You're back. You hug them and you're tired, but you're happy to see them. You miss them. More than you realized. How was the trip? Long. Tiring. But fine. It was fine. They don't really understand. They can't. They haven't lived it. They haven't spent 14 hours over the Pacific. Haven't slept in a foreign hotel where everything's different. Haven't flown back feeling like a zombie. But they try, and that's enough. That's all you need. You drop your bags. You'll unpack later. Maybe tomorrow. Right now you just want to sit, to be home, to be still. You made it. Another international flight complete. Another trip survived. And in 3 days, just 3 days, you'll do it all again. Because this is your life now. On every international flight. And you know what? Most days, you wouldn't trade it for anything. Most days.